You are Locked On Giants Postcast, part of Locked On Sports San Francisco on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Yo, what's up, everyone, and welcome back to the Locked On Giants Postcast. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel. You may know me as the former producer for the Murph and Mac Morning Show on KMBR 680. And today, the Giants, just when they give you some kind of hope, a glimmer of hope, they go out and lose 9-1 to one of the worst teams in baseball, the Colorado Rockies. Keaton Winn was rolling through the first 3 innings, but completely imploded in the 4th inning, surrendering 7 runs on 7 hits, gave up a bomb in the process, and tons of extra base hits as well. The Giants offense is also right back to being a disappointment. Only 1 run again with no rallies all game long. The 1 run coming on a solo shot by Michael Conforto. Yet another solo shot. Can we please get some runners on base? Frustration and inconsistency. Thy name is the San Francisco Giants. We will break it all down, but first I want to thank all of you for watching us on the Locked On Sports San Francisco YouTube channel. If you aren't already subscribed, please hit that subscribe button right now. Thanks also for listening on the Locked On Giants podcast feed. However you're getting the show, we appreciate you tuning in. Make sure to check out the Locked On Giants Daily Show for more in-depth coverage. Ben Kaspick does a great job. And today's show is brought to you by Monopoly Go. All right, time out. We got to talk more about Monopoly Go. This fast-paced game lets you team up with friends for tournaments to unlock awesome prizes like unique stickers for trading, cool playing pieces, and hilarious emojis for taunting your friends. So download Monopoly Go now for free on Google Play or the App Store. Game on. And for the Giants today, this game started off with wasted opportunity at the dish. The same way that we've seen the Giants just waste constantly just wasting opportunities at the plate. I mean, I want to say so many things about this offense that it's going to make me lose my job if I say them on this show, but man, are they bad, putrid, terrible, boring, just so awful to watch as a product. And in the top of the first inning, Giants put runners on first and second with just 1 out. And you think maybe this is going to be more of what we've seen the last couple days. Maybe they can start getting something rolling. Maybe we're going to go back to San Francisco with a hot offense that maybe they take this momentum from Coors Field and turn it into some winning baseball at home at Oracle Park. I mean, God knows the Giants need that right now. They need anything to build some momentum, some positive vibes in that locker room, in the clubhouse. And today, I thought that was what we were going to see after the game started off the way it did with those first 2 runners jumping on, 1 out. You know, let's score some runs, start this game off right, get Keaton Winn some run support before he even steps foot on the rubber. Well, that all went out the window with a Wilmer Flores pop out into foul ground, and then Thairo Estrada, I don't know what the hell he was doing. First and second, 2 outs, Mike Yastrzemski at the plate, and it's a 2-2 count. And Thairo tries to steal third, and he gets thrown out, makes the last out of the inning at third base. Just a cardinal sin. I mean, something that I learned in like coach pitch, like do not ever, under any circumstances, make the last out of the inning at third base. Do not ever do that. And if I learned that in coach pitch T-ball, well, maybe not T-ball, but like coach pitch little league, like if I'm learning that then as most other kids are, I mean, how is Thairo Estrada doing this at the big league level? And this is a guy who has been one of the best Giants offensive players so far this season. You just can't have this, man. The Giants have been running into outs on the base paths all season long, and they are not a very good base stealing team. They have been pretty aggressive at taking extra bases on like bloopers, hits in the gap, those types of things. But for a team to be as bad at stealing bases as the Giants are, to be trying to steal third with 2 outs, no, absolutely no. Don't ever do that, please. Don't ever do that again. And I don't know if Thairo was just running on his own, or if the Giants, tried to actually steal the bag, like that was the call, which I can't imagine why it would have been, or if it was just like a botched hit and run opportunity. Like, I don't really know what was going on there, but it just looked wrong, and it really frustrated me, man. To start off a game like that, I think that set the tone for the rest of this Giants game. And I mean, they did end up getting on the board first still, got Keaton Winn some run support before he gave up any runs. Conforto comes up with another solo shot in the top of the 4th. He's been hitting really well on this road trip. Another multi-hit game for Michael Conforto as well today. He got 2 hits, 1 run, 1 RBI, and he also drew a walk. So Michael Conforto on base 3 times in this one. His OPS up over 800. He's at 822 OPS, that batting average climbing up to 275 now. He's been really locked in at the plate on this road trip. And if you're looking for one single positive thing, it is this. Michael Conforto hit another solo shot, but it's kind of frustrating because out of San Francisco's 33 home runs as a team, 21 of them have been solo shots. It's 64%. I mean, man, that is frustrating. That is, and I mean, that was coming into today. So now they have 34 total home runs and 22 of them have been solo shots. So that percentage increases, but it's frustrating that the Giants can't get any base runners on in front of these guys. It doesn't make sense why they can't score any runs. And also, I should mention, while we're talking about the Giants failing to score runs, today they were, surprise, terrible with runners in scoring position yet again. 0 for 5 with runners in scoring position, left 7 runners on base. It's becoming incredibly frustrating every single day that the Giants go out there and they do something like this. It just makes me feel like this team, their shot of making the playoffs is getting further and further and further away. I know it's May, I know it's early, but I mean, you got to start winning some damn games. You can't fall this far behind, 500. I mean, they're 17-22 on the season. You're 5 games back from 500. You're losing games to the Rockies. That's not good, man. Like they end up 3-7 on this road trip with the loss to the Rockies today. And let me tell you, it would have felt so much different if the Giants ended this road trip 4-6 instead of 3-7. I mean, that's not only does it sound so much better, but the way that, like, I can live with losing series to the Red Sox and the Phillies. Those are 2 really good ball clubs. Obviously, you don't want to see a sweep. You never want to see your team get swept, but I can live with losing 2-3 to the Red Sox in May. I can live with losing 2-4 or even maybe 3-4 to the Phillies in May. What I can't deal with is the Giants having a 3-7 road trip on their longest road trip of the season. I mean, they really need to get back to Oracle Park. This has been an abysmal road trip. I'm sure it's felt a lot longer than the 11 days that it has spanned, but 10 games in 11 days, the longest Giants road trip of the season. And it's been a really bad one. I mean, there's no 2 ways about it. You could have maybe parsed out some positivity. Like if the Giants won this game, they were 4-6, and you point back to that game in Philly where they kind of just let one slip. I mean, maybe you can sit there and say, if the Giants did 1 or 2 different things differently, they could have been 500 on the season, or on this road trip, excuse me, not on the season, on the road trip. And that would have been something nice. Like that would have been almost something to hang your hat on, because the Giants have been really bad on the road this year. Instead, you drop the final game of the series in Colorado and you come home with that bad taste of a loss in Coors Field in your mouth, and hopefully just this fresh San Francisco air. I mean, my God, it is again beautiful outside today. This week is just unreal weather-wise. Maybe the Giants just need to get back here to some nice, like, San Francisco springtime vibes, and that will right the ship for them, hopefully. I mean, I don't know what else is going to fix this team at this point. Offensively, they have been so bad, and today they did miss a lot of their lineup. All 3 major free agent additions that they made offensively were out for today. Soler obviously on that injured list. Chapman gets a day off. Jung-Hoo Lee gets a day off as well. He hit a foul ball off his foot yesterday. It looked very painful, and so I wonder if they're just giving him an extra day to let that foot just kind of rest up. Another note from today, Nick Ahmed comes out of the game with an injury. He had left wrist soreness, I believe they listed it as. So that's, I mean, if the Giants are going to add another guy to the injury list, this is going to start to become a problem. I mean, you have a lot of youth down there to come up, and obviously the number one thing everyone's going to be clamoring for is going to be Marco Luciano. I mean, if the shortstop goes down, that's who everyone wants to see. But I got to tell you guys, I want Tyler Fitzgerald there for right now. I like the way that Ramos came up on this road trip. Like, he's been tearing it up in AAA. He was kind of already starting to force the Giants' hand into they were going to have to bring him up one way or another. And I mean, I'm not going to say thankfully, but situationally, it worked out for the Giants that Soler went on the injured list and they could bring up Ramos as he was hitting and super hot at the plate. I want Luciano to force the Giants' hand the same way that Ramos was before he comes up. I do not want him to come up out of need, out of this offense being so terrible that you're just trying to spark some life in it with any possible thing that you have. This is too valuable of a prospect to waste on a team that is 5 games under 500. Like, you do not want to mess up this kid's mental set for the rest of his career by putting him in a bad situation right now. You want him to be hot in the minors, come up and force his way into this lineup. You do not want him up here out of necessity. This is a guy who's very streaky. If you look at his stats in the minor leagues and if you've been watching him play at all in the minors, you know he is up and down. When he is hot, he is red hot, scorching hot at the plate. But when he's not, he can fall into some slumps, man. And I do not want the Giants to bring a guy up who is that volatile if he's not at the top of his game. I think that's really important for the development of Marco Luciano. So it'll be interesting to see what the Giants do with the injury to Nick Ahmed at shortstop. I'm not saying I don't want them to bring him up at all right now. I don't want him to be brought up and forced into a everyday starter situation. If he's getting some situational at bats and Tyler Fitzgerald is the starter at shortstop until Ahmed is healthy, if he does need some time on the injured list, that's okay with me. I do not want Marco Luciano as the Giants starting shortstop out of necessity. I want him to force their hand into doing that. A couple more stuff to get into on this game. I think we should take a quick break, though. On the other side, we're going to talk about Keaton Winn's big, disastrous 4th inning. We went over all the positives that you can glean from this Giants road trip, if there is one. Michael Conforto. that's the list. That's all of the list, all of the items, the one item, that's the whole list. Time to talk about some of the bad things in Colorado from today. Keaton Winn's disaster of a 4th inning. Stick with us on the Locked On Giants postcast. I am your host, Eric Triple E Engel. We will be right back. Moms are a gift, so give her the best this Mother's Day. Get gifts as thoughtful as she is with DoorDash. Select from hundreds of expertly crafted bouquets to the best of tech to self-care essentials and more delivered right to her door. Pair flowers with a gift card so she can celebrate any way she wants. Is mom a bookworm? Try a bookstore gift card. Does she love a good latte? Get a gift card to her favorite coffee shop. You just can't go wrong. Get thoughtful gifts she deserves with the convenience you need. Choose same-day delivery or schedule a week ahead when flowers and gifts should arrive to her door with DoorDash. Shop with savings that would make her proud. With a Dash Pass membership, you'll save with a $0 delivery fee and reduced service fees on eligible orders from Dash Pass merchants that meet the minimum subtotal. Other fees, including service fees, apply. Terms apply as well. Get all your Mother's Day gifts all in one place and get 50% off your next order up to $15 when you spend $15 or more on your next flower, convenience, grocery, or retail order now with code LOCKEDONMLB. That's LOCKEDONMLB. Order using DoorDash today. Terms apply. And today's show is also sponsored by Monopoly Go. All right, time out. We got to pause here to talk more about Monopoly Go. And I know what you're saying, flag on the play. You already talked about that, but there is just so much good stuff in this game. In Monopoly Go, you can team up with friends for time tournaments where you work together to build up each other's boards. The more you win together, the more awesome prizes you unlock. And there's so much to get. Unique stickers you can trade with friends to complete albums for big prizes, cool new playing pieces to travel the boards with, hilarious emojis for taunting friends when you smash their buildings or heist their vaults. Plus, Monopoly Go feels new and exciting every day with constantly changing tournaments and challenges. A ton include their own unique mini games like digging for treasure or a robot pachinko machine. And there's always new timed events that will help you win big, like massive multipliers for everything you win or rent frenzies. There's always something fun to discover in Monopoly Go. So get off the bench and go download it now for free on Google Play or the App Store. Game on. Welcome back to the Locked On Giants postcast. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel. Today, the Giants lose a laugher 9-1 in Colorado on getaway day. The Giants headed home I should be heading over to that airport any minute now as soon as they get out of Coors Field. And man, I bet every single player on that team cannot wait to come back to the San Francisco Bay Area and sleep in their own damn bed tonight after that, what's the longest road trip of the season and a really terrible one at that. Giants 3-7 with the loss today on the roadie. It's just not what you want to see. And the reason that they lost this one, you look no further than the fourth inning. I mean, after the Giants took a 1-0 lead at the top of the fourth, in the bottom of the fourth, Keaton Winn, who had been rolling up to that point, he only had given up one hit and 0 walks, 1 strikeout through the first 3 innings, getting a ton of ground ball outs as he's just doing what he does. And all of a sudden, he just implodes, man. Like, he gave up 7 runs on 7 hits in this 1 inning. He gave up 2 triples, 2 doubles, a home run, and 2 singles in the process. That's a lot, man. It's a lot. 6 runs on 6 hits over the course of only 10 pitches. The first 6 runs of that 7-run inning only took 10 pitches for the Rockies to score those runs. And I mean, that leads me to believe that Keaton Winn was tipping his pitches, man, because the Rockies were jumping all over him. I mean, early in counts, like first pitch swinging, second pitch swinging. Even if they weren't putting the ball in play, they were fouling off balls on that first pitch. And I mean, Doyle is the one who came up for the Rockies to hit that home run. And I mean, every single guy that inning who saw Keaton Winn looked like they were just, I mean, sitting dead red. Like they were just waiting for him to just leave one out over the middle. And for what it's worth, Keaton Winn was also missing his spots during this one as well. I mean, early in the game when he missed, he was missing low, he was missing outside, areas where if you miss, it's not going to hurt you too bad. In this inning, he started missing right down Main Street. I mean, he was piping like splitters that did not split right down the middle, and guys were jumping on it. So it's a little bit of a concern, I think. I definitely put more merit into this than Keaton Winn's last outing, although now it is 2 consecutive outings where Keaton Winn looked really bad and had disastrous blow-up innings. His last start was that really rainy day in Philly, which I don't think that we can judge Keaton Winn a lot for that start. I mean, you got a splitter, a guy whose main pitch is a splitter, trying to throw that in the rain. Like, if you think that that's an easy thing to do, I want you to go outside in the rain next time it rains and try and throw a split finger fastball and control where it goes, because there's 0 chance that you will, and try and get it to move, because it probably won't move very much either. It's just going to be sliding out of your hands. So Keaton Winn, I think that start in Philly, you can just chalk up to the rain. Yeah, I don't think you should ever really, I don't know if he's ever going to have another game like that. I mean, that game should have been at minimum delayed. Like, it was a monsoon out there and you had these guys play through it. It's completely ridiculous. Anyways, Keaton Winn, I am a little concerned that he was getting whacked around the way that he did today. But if it's a pitch tipping thing, that's a very easy fix. That's a very easy fix that the Giants pitching staff can work with him on. And maybe that is something that they'll right the ship with going forward. I mean, Keaton Winn has been one of the best pitchers really in baseball all season long until today. I mean, this inning was really bad. And I mean, last time out too was not great either, but with the loss, Keaton Winn is now 3-5 on the season. The last 2 really bad outings have ballooned his ERA to up over 5. It's 5.63. I mean, you look at the numbers and they don't really reflect what we've been seeing from Keaton Winn on the mound this season. I mean, his ground ball rate is what it is. We all know it's over 60%. He's one of the top, I think, 3 or 4 pitchers in baseball in ground ball percentages. I mean, even gets ground balls at a higher rate than even Logan Webb is getting him this season. So Keaton Winn is, I mean, he's been really good this season. The one thing that has been kind of concerning has been his hard hit percentage. I mean, 48.9% of the time, opponents are really, I mean, drilling the ball off of Keaton Winn. He's in the bottom 6% of the league in his hard hit percentage. It's not, I mean, some of those are going to start to fall, and that's what you saw today. I mean, all those extra base hits, that's what was happening in that 4th inning. I mean, guys just absolutely drilling the ball off of Keaton Winn. Average exit velocity this season coming into today was 92.5 miles an hour, the 8th highest figure among qualified pitchers. That's a lot, man. That's a lot. His, as I said, his 48.9% hard hit rate also ranks in the bottom 6% of the league. So you have to assume that he was getting a little lucky with some of those, and that some of those hits are going to start to fall. And granted, he is a ground ball pitcher. So if you hit a ball 99 miles an hour into the dirt, that's probably going to be an out, as while you got Matt Chapman and Nick Ahmed and Tyro Estrada as your infield, and that's probably going to find a glove, you know what I mean? Unless it's a seeing eye single. So the fact that he is a ground ball pitcher kind of negates some of this hard hit stuff. But when guys are able to get under the ball, especially in that thin Rocky Mountain air at Coors Field, that ball's going to travel because they're hitting it pretty hard. So bad day for Keaton Winn. His last 2 outings have been subpar, to say the least, and in some not great conditions either. I mean, I know it looked nice out there in Colorado today, but it's still Coors Field. No pitcher ever wants to pitch at Coors Field. I mean, just look at every single Colorado Rockies pitching staff ERA over the last 20 years, and that's all the proof you need. But it's just not desirable, his last 2 conditions for starting, that starting in a monsoon in Philadelphia and then Coors Field. So Keaton Winn's had a rough go of it lately. Today did not get any easier for him, but hey, at least he got out of the first inning, right? Yeah, I know, bad joke. Not the right time for these jokes, but man, the Giants got to figure out something on this homestand. It's going to be a tough homestand, man. You got the Reds coming to town, and then you got the Dodgers, which, I mean, the Dodgers, what are you going to do against that lineup, man? What can you even try and do? So the Giants pitching staff better be on their A game as they head back to Oracle. They definitely all underperformed on this road trip. I mean, Hicks kind of got knocked around. Webby got knocked around. The only guy who pitched well was Kyle Harrison. Somehow Harrison picks up 2 wins on this road trip. The Giants only got 3 as a ball club. So maybe Harrison should have just started every single game on this road trip. Maybe the Giants would have, figured out a way to win more games. Obviously, that's completely unrealistic. They should not ever do that. Do not take that as a serious comment. More to break down from this game. On the other side, the Giants, just so incredibly frustrating at this point as they wrap up their longest road trip of the season, headed back to Oracle Park. Thank God, because I cannot stand to watch any more terrible Giants baseball on this road trip. Stick with us on the Locked On Giants postcast. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel. We will be right back. Today's episode is brought to you by PrizePicks. PrizePicks is America's #1 fantasy sports app with over 3 million members. PrizePicks is the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. It's just you against the numbers. You pick more than or less than on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. Spring training is over and baseball season is officially underway. Don't miss your chance to add your favorite players from the diamond in your PrizePicks entries. Whether it's strikeouts, RBIs, or first inning runs, take your pick of more or less and add them to your PrizePicks entry today. PrizePicks has something for every sports fan, from baseball and basketball to League of Legends and everything in between. You can pick Shohei Ohtani, Connor McDavid, Jude Bellingham, and Anthony Edwards all in the same entry. Download the app today and use code LOCKEDONMLB for a first deposit match up to $100. Again, download the PrizePicks app today and use code LOCKEDONMLB for first deposit match up to $100. It's PrizePicks. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy. Welcome back to the Locked On Giants postcast. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel, and the Giants lose a bad one, 9-1 in Colorado. And things aren't going to get a ton easier when they come home. Yeah, Cincinnati. I see you, Bob, in the chat. Cincinnati has not been playing super well as of late, but I think you're right. I think the Giants are turning into like that get right team for a lot of these other ball clubs, and that's not, you'd never want to be that club. But the Reds got a really nice pitching staff, and the Giants are going to, I think, struggle to score some runs against them. So runs will be at a premium against the Reds, as they have been all season long. And of course, once the Dodgers come to town, that is going to be tough. And worth noting, the Dodgers only coming to town twice this season with the new schedule. So if you're thinking, maybe I'll just wait till the Dodgers come out next time, it's May, maybe I don't need to get out to the yard right now. Yeah, you do, because the Giants only have so many games against the Dodgers at home. And unless you're going down to Dodger Stadium, which I don't really advise if you're a Giants fan, you're probably, your opportunities are limited to see this rivalry. And if you want to go out and get some of it, make sure you get out there during this next homestand. hopefully the Giants can get one for you if you're out there. It'll be tough. It'll be tough. But today, the Giants, again, 9-1 loss to Colorado. In everything about the Giants in this game, minus Michael Conforto, was bad. I mean, Keaton Winn, not great. I guess Randy Rodriguez was cool. He pitched okay. He did give up 4 hits, but he pitched two and third innings. Not bad to give up 4 hits over that span. He did give up 1 run. He struck out 4, but you see the velocity, the arm life. I mean, it is right. I think in the last batter that he faced, he was throwing 99. So, I mean, a guy who's not, if he continues to get better and improve, he's not going to be a long reliever forever for the Giants. He will become a more high leverage guy if he continues to improve. Again, a top 30 prospect in the system. And he looks okay out there so far. The one concern I did have, of those 4 hits that he gave up, 3 of them were extra base hits. So guys are barreling the ball up, getting gappers off of him. But also, this is still Coors Field. We can't overblow guys giving up extra base hits at Coors, because that is a massive outfield, and there's a lot of room for line drives to land. So that's kind of what was happening today. You saw line drive after line drive, gapper after gapper after gapper, and the Giants really just fell behind, and it was insurmountable. I mean, I don't think 9-1 is ever going to be a deficit that this Giants club can pull out of the way it's currently constructed. I just don't see how they do that. Really don't. One more positive note from today. If you're watching the broadcast, Dave and Hunter Pence, if you're watching on NBC Sports Bay Area, Dave Fleming and Hunter Pence were getting real loose on the broadcast today, man. Those guys were just trying to have some fun out there, like having fun with Victor Vodnik's name from the pitcher for the Rockies. Like, I mean, I felt like that running joke went for like 2-3 innings of talking about, how this guy, Dave was just disappointed that this guy who has this great name, Victor Vodnik, sounds like he's from like Hungary or Bulgaria or something. And instead, he's from California. And that was really disappointing to Dave. And he and Hunter just kept riffing on that. They were riffing on Elliot Ramos trying to learn how to use the oxygen tanks, and Hunter Pence was making some puff pass jokes, if you're catching my drift. And I mean, that went on for a while too. Yeah, I've never heard Dave Fleming laugh in the booth as much as I hear when Hunter Pence is in there with him, man. They're kind of a fun pair. I do enjoy listening to Hunter Pence on the broadcast when he's there. I don't know if I could deal with Hunter every game, but it's fun to mix it up every now and again. And of course, we get Kruk and Kite back now that the Giants are coming back home. And that's probably my favorite thing about the Giants returning to Oracle Park, is that we get Kruk and Kite back on the broadcast. But one thing that Dave and Hunter had time to get into, because they had all sorts of time to get into all of these periphery stuff during this game, Pat Bailey actually checked in with Dave Fleming and said that he's feeling better and has passed some of the concussion protocol tests. He is eligible to come off the concussion list and return on Saturday. And as long as he continues to progress at the same rate, he should be good to go on Saturday. So Giants fans, we can at least cross our fingers and hope that Pat Bailey has no setbacks, because man, they need all the help that they can get. And that is a big help for the Giants. I mean, Blake Sabol has done an okay job back there as catcher. I mean, today he didn't really contribute much. He did draw a walk, but 0 for 3 at the plate with a strikeout. But he's been hitting the ball pretty well. His batting average still up around 400, and I mean, in limited work. But I think that Blake Sabol can add some much needed offense. I don't know if they need him as a catcher, though. I don't like Blake Sabol's defense back there. But is he the same or better than Tom Murphy? I mean, defensively, no. Murphy's a better catcher defensively, but with how much he's been struggling at the plate, I mean, I think Sabol has kind of got to be the backup guy at this point, because it's I don't know how much longer you can trot Tom Murphy out there the way that he's been playing. Maybe he looks better after he comes back from his stint on the injured list, which now there's a ton of Giants on there, seeming to be filling up pretty quickly. So for what it's worth, that's another thing that you can kind of look forward to for the Giants. This is stressful though. This road trip, Very disappointing. I got to keep it, PG on the podcast. I can't say all the words that are floating around in my brain that I am thinking about this Giants team. You guys can use your imagination. Lots of 4-letter words. But this Giants team, real bad right now. This Giants offense, real bad right now. Keaton Winn, real bad the last 2 starts. Not a lot of good things to talk about for the Giants right now. And I mean, I feel like I try and always find some silver linings for you guys. I don't want to come on here and just like rail into the Giants for 30 minutes and just be this buzzkill downer every time. I try to be as realistic as I can, as objective as I can, but at this point, man, I don't know what else to talk about as a positive, except for Michael Conforto. Michael Conforto's it. And maybe some guys can come back and get healthy. That's not really a positive. That's taking a negative and spinning it into a positive, because the negative is that the Giants are missing all of these dudes still, and they suck. Flat out, they suck right now. Like, they are in a bad way. This road trip, 3-7 on the road trip, 17-22 on the season now for the Giants. I mean, thank goodness they're coming back to Oracle Park. That's about all you can say after this one. And with that, that's all the time that we have for you guys today. Thanks for joining us on this one, on the Locked On Giants postcast. If you stuck around through this whole, abysmal Giants game and then stuck around through the whole Locked On Giants postcast, I appreciate you guys. Trust, I really do. Join us tomorrow as we come to you live from my apartment in the Sunset in San Francisco, and we'll break down this Giants Reds game tomorrow, and every game from the Red series and from this next homestand. So stick with us on the Locked On Giants postcast. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel. We will see you next time. Peace.